Hello and welcome. Welcome to the How to Get the Right Fitting Swimsuit, Even If You're a Bigger Girl workshop with me, Anita McLaughlin, the founder and owner of Sequins and Sand. Some people call me the Cossie Whisperer. I have been helping women for the last 14, probably closer to 15 years really, to find the right swimsuit and help them feel great in it. So not just finding the swimsuit, but the mindset shifts that need to go along with that as well. Now, today I am thrilled to present this workshop for you. We surveyed our Sequins and Sand customers a little while ago because we wanted to introduce some new things into our world. And this was the #1 request: online workshops. I thought this would be a great place to start with how to get the right swimsuit fit, even if you're a bigger girl. And I know it's more challenging when you are a bigger girl. So listen up if that's for you. As hard as we try, I know this is the reality check for many of you watching today. The seemingly simple act of having a swimsuit that fits well, that feels great on, it can be a challenge. And what it does, if we don't get it right, ultimately, it has us holding us back from doing all the things that we want to do with those that we love the most, whether that's for play or maybe, it's for wellness and therapy, for fitness, all of the things. I know that having the right fitting swimsuit is a fabulous tool to have in your summer toolkit to have you getting out there living a full and happy life. But there are some challenges. You may have found it really frustrating. For some of you watching, it may have been frustrating for a long, long time. I don't know about you, but even as a swimsuit whisperer, when I go looking for swimsuits in a mall store or out and about near where I live, there aren't any. More and more options are now online, and maybe you've not shopped online much before. Maybe if you have, swimsuit is something different. It's hard enough for you to get your head around shopping for one, let alone shopping for one online. There are thousands and thousands of options. Where do you start? It's really overwhelming. So it's frustrating. It's hard to understand why it needs to be so hard. And here's another challenge, right? After all of that frustration and effort that goes on to finding a swimsuit, what starts to happen is that emotional response starts to kick in, right? It comes back to you. You start looking at yourself and blaming yourself. You get more frustrated, and with that, maybe some anger kicks in. And then eventually, it might have you feeling less than yourself. You start blaming yourself. And you might even start blaming your body. It's my fault. It's my body shape. I have an awkward body shape, a difficult body shape, a horrible body shape. It's not you, and it's not your body shape. There is a swimsuit out there for you. But please don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. You are gorgeous just the way you are. Another challenge that I know is really, really prevalent for many of you out there is all of this trying, this toing and froing. It's expensive, right? Now, you pay for what you get, and swimsuits are no different. If you buy a cheap swimsuit, it's not going to last, guarantee you that. So, you have to spend a bit of money to get a decent swimsuit these days because, and there's a whole lot of reasons, and we'll go into some of that today, but it does take up a lot of our personal, our wallets and our purse space. So it becomes an expensive exercise. Maybe you've got 3 or 4 more swimsuits sitting in a drawer somewhere that you haven't even looked at because you've put them on once, didn't work, didn't feel good, so back in the drawer they go. This can be an expensive exercise over time. Maybe you've got your own challenges that I've not mentioned so far in the workshop. Maybe there are other things that you find difficult about finding the right fitting swimsuit. What I'd like for you to do right now is to take some time and really think about what those are. You've got a few documents that have accompanied this workshop for you in your Kajabi account. One of them is a workbook, and it's a workbook that I've designed specifically for this workshop to take you through the key points so that you've got a reference of important points as we go through. And there's space for you to jot down your own thoughts. So if you haven't printed off that workbook, blah, 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 workbook, and don't have that with you right now, I want you to stop this recording and go and grab it, print it off and put it next to you. Then when that's done, come back, because there are some important notes you will want to take, trust me. Okay, are we good? Let's go. All of the negativity, yes, all of the challenges, or the very real frustrations that are out there, I know, I've heard a lot of them before, but I want you to know that there's a flip side, right? As there is with most things in life, there is a flip side. There is an opportunity, and that's what I'm going to present to you today. There's a way that you can love your swimsuit time again without the worry, so you can focus on what matters most. No holding back. And with that, I know, comes that feeling of freedom and joy. So let's dive in and see how we can do this together. Today in this workshop, we will cover common fit problems. Look, there are hundreds of fit problems. I know there are so many, and it gets really personal, right? But these are the common fit problems after 14 years of working with thousands of women that I come across more regularly than others. So we'll go through those today, so you can identify yours with greater clarity, because maybe that's been the issue, right? Let's explore. We're also going to talk about how you can fix them so that you can avoid falling into the trap again. Or if you've already got the swimsuit, there are other ways that I will show you how to fix the current swimsuit fit problems that you've got with those cozies. We also will be sharing ways in which you can solve your very specific fit issues. And for some of you, that will happen in the workshop. But if it doesn't, there's another way that I will share with you that you can reach out to me and get that help. And lastly, this. How to try on your swimsuit correctly. Now, I know, again, that sounds very simple and easy, and oh, why is she even going through that? But I know this makes a difference. It's often overlooked, but it's a really important, it might be small, but it's an important missing piece in that whole swimsuit fit dilemma. Now, I've talked about those 3 resources, and I will talk about them some more because they're really, really helpful. I've thought about this for you. There's the workbook. We've spoken about that. But there's also the 6 Shapes Swimsuit Guide, as well as a guide that I've put together for how to try your swimsuit on correctly. So please grab those from your Kajabi account, print them off. If you're like me, I like to print everything off still. I need to read on paper or download them onto your own computer or phone or wherever you keep your documents, and come back to them regularly after this workshop. This is what they look like in case you're wondering, or make it easier to find how to try your swimsuit on correctly, and the 6 Shapes Swimsuit Guide. It's a bit of a tongue twister. This is my promise to you. There is a swimsuit out there for you, one that fits you well, that has you feeling great when you wear it. My promise is that I will help you find it. Promise. Let's go. Swimsuit fit principles. Swimsuit fit 101. Let me move this down to try and find the right spot for you. I'm pretty sure wherever I move it, it's going to be in the way. Swimsuit fit principles, swimsuit fit 101, as I like to call it. It looks pretty simple, right? And it is fairly simple once you know what to look for. With swimsuit fit principles, it boils down to 2 things pretty much: matching your body features to that of the swimsuit and making sure that they fit nice and snug together. That's how we get the perfect fit. On target, in the middle, matching your features with that of the swimsuit. That's our aim. So when we talk about that, matching your features to that of the swimsuit, you really need to understand your body shape. And I've put size in brackets for a really important reason. Body shape first. Shape before size every time, girls. That's how you find the right fitting swimsuit, first principle. And we'll talk about that a little bit further on in the workshop too. But when you understand your body shape, things start to make more sense. Now, how do we do that? Go to the 6 Shapes Swimsuit Fit Guide, right? The one that accompanies this workshop. It's your bonus. In there is a link to the shape and size calculator. Now, it's a custom tool that we've developed here at Sequence and Sand based on certain algorithms of years of experience really goes into this. So you put your measurements in the calculator, and on the screen, it will tell you what shape we think you are based on those measurements and the size of swimsuit that we think you should look for the labels that are in the catalog, our browsing catalog for you. So not gospel, nothing out there is 100% foolproof, you know that, girls, but it is a really solid place to start. How do I know? The emails that I have received since introducing this tool are super duper positive. I know it works and I know that it's helpful and I know that it'll be helpful for you too. So understand your shape first, go to the calculator, the link is in your guide, or if you want to write it down in your workbook, there it is there, sequenceandsand.com.au/calculator.html. Now, that's the first circle, the green one. The next one is understanding the features of a swimsuit. And how we do that is by understanding how they're made. Now, swimsuits are more like underwear than overwear, right? They're made to fit firmly-ish and firm, and they're made to move with you. So the fabric is different, the designs are different. And in those designs is how we understand, when we understand those designs, we understand their features. So when we understand the features, we can then match it to our personal features, right? Be on target. Now, bust support. As we dive into common fit issues, I would have to say this is the number one that I get questions for, concerns about. Over the years, bust support is it. And it's usually not enough bust support, particularly if you're a bigger girl and you've got a larger bust. Now, bust support, when we talk about swimsuits, and I'm talking about fit here, really important that you understand we're talking fit. We're not talking how it looks on you, right? We're talking bust support, how it supports your bust. And in swimwear, there are 4 areas that we get the bust support from. We get it from a shelf bra, and I'll show you some of these soon as we dive in and out of Zoom. We will look at the bust support. It's either a shelf bra that's got under bust elastic and or underwire, right? Just like you get in a bra. Straps. Straps are the other feature that help with bust support. And a bit like stilettos versus a wedge, a wide strap is going to share the load of your bust across your shoulders, and it's going to feel more comfortable if nothing else. And having adjustable straps so you can bring it in nice and firmly to suit your individual shape and size is really important. That's where you will get extra bust support if you have those 2 things. The other feature to look for in your swimsuit to get good bust support is a high back. The higher the back, the better the support. A low back means you're not going to get as much support, because support, just like with a bra, support comes from underneath your bust all the way around, right? It's that circumference, that area that does most of the heavy lifting, believe it or not. It's not the straps. it's there. So that's where it's really important that we get support all the way around. So we've talked about the front with the bra bit, the shelf bra and the underwire. Now the back bit, the higher the back, the more support, because if it's higher at the back, it's going to come around and sit higher underneath your arms and give you that side bust support, right? Now, as we get older, for many of us, that side bust support becomes even more important, right? You know what I mean. So look for a high back. If you want great bust support, you need to have cup coverage. Super simple, I know, seems obvious, but the more coverage you have, the more contained your bust is going to be, and that will feel more supportive naturally. Hello. Now, with bust cup coverage, we're talking depth, which is top to bottom, and width, just like you do with the bra. So that's bust support. They're the features that all work in together to give you that bust support. So let's take a look at some swimsuits. I've got a few here to share with you. And this is where I know I'm going to have to dive out unless I can make this window bigger. Or maybe this will work. Oh, genius. Oh, no, hang on. I want to go back. Well, maybe this will work, girls. How exciting. Let me see if I can just expand that anymore. Oh, maybe a little bit more. No, I think that's it. Well, I think that might do. How exciting. So I'll just move the window. That's great. Now, when I talk about bust support, we're going to go from maximum support down to less support, okay? And the beauty is now when you look in our catalogue at sequenceandsand.com.au, every swimsuit has been graded by us by bust support. So you will see that and you can filter by that. So we're trying to make it easier for you to find the swimsuits that are going to fit you best, right? So this one here, this is the tank one piece from Genevieve Swimwear. And, you know, a couple of labels do a similar style to this. But what I love about this are the features that I know are super duper tough and supportive for a bust. Now, to appreciate a swimsuit features, you don't just look at the outside, you've got to look underneath, right? So if you're in a mall store, turn it inside out, right? If you're shopping online, read, and look at the pictures. Now, they should mention about the features in the description. Take the time to read it, okay? This is what this swimsuit has that makes it so super duper supportive. It's got underwire. Can you see that? And it's also got at the back an extra fixing. It's a bra fixing and it's super deep, right? There are 3 clasps. I've got to make sure I can get it in the window for you. Is that working? There are 3 clasps there and it does up like a bra and it's got the power mesh and the elastic around that too. And that goes all the way around the back, right? We're talking about getting that bust support all the way around. So you've got it at extra at the back here as well at the front. So that's where the power comes from. You know that's where most of the support comes from. The heavy lifting is done under your bust and around the back, right? Now, it's got the high back as well. That'll sit just above the base of your shoulder blades. And then it's got the wide straps that fully adjust. And it's also got a wide strap at the base of the strap here. And I'll show you why that's important shortly. Cup coverage, look at that, really deep, top to bottom, side to side. So you get an appreciation of the coverage with this Cossie as well. It's brilliant for bust support. So that's the tank one piece. If you want to write that in your notes, if you're after super duper support, that's the one. That'll go up to an H cup. Sonia tells me. I know we've got G cups in it because I'm about to show you pictures of that. The next one I want to show you that I would call has high to medium, but certainly high. I've had G cups in this style as well. This is one from Caprioska Swimwear, and it is a 3-tier swimsuit. Now, it comes in a tankini as well as a one-piece. You're going to get more support from a one piece with your bust than a tankini, because it anchors between your legs and helps to pull things down, right? Keep things in place. So another top tip, one piece of this version is going to give you more bust support. Now, those tiers come into play for tummy support, and we'll talk about that later. But from a bust point of view, this has got a fantastic shelf bra in it. And that shelf bra has got really good underbust elastic. And you can see some power mesh there to keep everything together as well. So it works in unison, right? The cups are molded, which just helps to give a firm outline, a nice outline, and to help you feel a little bit more supported. But it doesn't do much of the heavy lifting. That's more of an aesthetic than anything. But it's got that shelf bra, which I know works really, really well. Then at the back, it continues along. Sorry, there's just a lot of fabric in this one. Bear with me while I get to the back for you. There it is. So that elastic goes all the way around the back. So again, that circumference underneath your bust and around your back is working together. Really, really important. So that's what this construction has, the features to look for that gives it really, really good bust support. It also has the straps that are wider and fully adjustable. Tick that box. The back is high. Tick that box. And the cup coverage is awesome. It's got a V neckline that sits rather high, not super high, but probably where my top finishes there now. So another really good Cossie option for when you want good support, solid support from your Cossie. So that comes in a tankini and a one piece. One piece is going to give you a bit more support than a tankini top. Now, the zip up frill sleeve, this one is a bit of a surprise for some of you. I know you're probably going to think, not really, because it doesn't have the straps. It's a bit different. But what it does have is a zip. And that zip helps to keep things down and in place. This is not a lift and separate kind of style. I'll call it a flattener. Probably not the best term, but that's what it does. Hopefully I'm not mucking around with this microphone too much for you. But underneath, you'll see that it's got underbust elastic. Now, even though the cups are independent of each other, hollow because the zip goes down the middle, the zip does help to keep things in place. And it does have a very high back. Let me just show you. And it's that pulling action around the shoulders that helps to keep things in place as well. And it does come up nice and high underneath the arms, just like it would if you had a high back swimsuit on. And I'm going to show you some pictures in the presentation soon about what I'm talking about there. So that is the next one. Now, a crossover, I've got some images of that to share with you. A crossover is, it does just that. It's really popular, but again, because the cups are independent of each other, they're not going to give you super duper support. I would call that a low option. So let me share with you in the presentation now what I'm talking about. If the bust support is right, if your togs are positioned on your body in a way to give you maximum bust support, this is what you need to see when you try it on. Now, that's where the how to try your swimsuit on properly comes into play, because when you get it on right, you'll understand then whether it's fitting right or not. It's a really important step in the process. Now, if it's not fitting so right, this is what you'll see. See how her side bust is showing there? And I can tell that that's pulling down a lot further than where it's supposed to. And I bet that bust support is sitting well under her bust. It's not up underneath her bust to lift her bust up as it should. It's bringing it down. And I know why. She's got a long torso, that model. So that's what you need to look for too. Now that you know your shape, it's important that when you look at all of those images online, as I'll be taking you through some today, that you get an appreciation of their shape, the model's shape, and ask yourself this question. Does she have my shape? And if the answer is yes, go for it. And it looks good on her, like I'm about to show you. But if the answer is no, you need to have your radar up and go, I need to think a little bit more about this, and then go through the features to match your swimsuit, your shape, to get the right fit, all of those other things that we'll be talking about today. But if it's a good fit, it should sit underneath your arms nice and high. And I can tell that neckline is right. She's got a solid bust, this model, but she's also got a shorter torso. And this is a one piece. This is the one piece version here in the 3-tier without any side ruching. And I'll talk to you about side ruching soon. But that is a much firmer fit. And I know how it's supposed to fit, and that is the right fit. That's how it's supposed to look. This one, if yours is sitting like that on you, odds on you've got a longer torso, and it's not the right Cossie to suit your body shape if it's not fitting correctly. Now, here's a different model with a slightly different body shape. I still think she's got a slightly longer torso, but not as much as the other model. And you can see that she's got a bit more side boob showing here. Now, what I love about this style, we're talking about swimsuit styles, their features. Look how having the straps with a wider base, look what it does to cover up that area, right? It's brilliant. That is perfect. And then even a little bit more to show you. Look how great that looks. So that is it there front on. The neckline is quite a similar depth, right? And it's still a V neckline, but she's got more cup coverage. So with that, she's going to have a lot more bust support in this swimsuit than the other one. Now, here's evidence as well. See how that's sitting nice and high underneath her arm? That's what we want to see. Okay, that's great. And then here, it's because of the high back as well. And I can tell, see, that's where the strap buckle is. That's pulled up quite high. So she's been positioned into this correctly as well. So her straps have been tightened up to get that nice fit. Isn't that beautiful? That is gold star, 100% great fit on that model. Now, there's nothing wrong with the other fit. It's just that if we are striving for the maximum bust support, that's what you need to look for. And with that, it'll feel better on. There's no doubt about that. And then your confidence will grow. Here is a beautiful Jane. Now, Jane is in that black one piece that I shared with you earlier. Jane has a solid G cup and she's about a 24. Jane is a round body shape. Jane has a very full tummy in the front. Jane is our water baby in the Cossie Confidence crew. She's absolutely gorgeous. So Jane lap swims in the ocean, right? That's what she loves to do. That's her happy place. So I know she relies on this one to give her the bust support. And you can see how it does the job for Jane. There's good cup coverage. There's good coverage underneath the arm, right? It's sitting perfectly underneath Jane's arms there. And it's got the nice high back. She's got her straps adjusted. Good girl, she knows what to do. It's just a great Cossie for her bust support. The girls are lifted up and I know that she feels really comfortable and well supported in this swimsuit. So that's what it looks like on someone who's not a typical swimsuit model, though she's our swimsuit model, thankfully. She's not the hourglass, smaller size or even a straight through rectangle that you'll often see on swimsuit models. And here she is in that 3-tier, right? She does wear the tankini because the one piece is just too short for Jane in the sizing that she needs. But you can see it's not 100% right. We should have tightened up those straps a little bit more for Jane for this one. But you can see how it sits beautifully on her shape. And it looks really differently, doesn't it? You can see the 3 tiers around her tummy sit very differently to the other one. But we're talking bust support. And I know she gets good bust support from this one. But if she was swimming laps, she'd use the black one. If she's mucking around in the pool and having a good time or in the ocean just for mucking around, she would wear this one. Okay, medium bust support. We talked about the frill sleeve with the zip up front. Here it is on a model, that other model that had the other straps sitting beautifully on her body, the 3-tier. look how supportive that is on her. Now, she is a solid E cup, I'm guessing, possibly even an F. And this model here is a little bit smaller in the bust, I'd say double D cup. And you can see how the zip, when it's done up, the more you zip this one up, the firmer it's going to fit. And you can see how it sits nice and high underneath your arm. That is a great fit. And that's where the power of this one comes from for the medium bust support. Everything is really well contained. The paneling on the side also helps with this one, as does having that sleeve there to help keep everything contained and together. I know girls with probably up to an E cup bust will work this one well. Beyond that, it starts to put a bit more pressure on the zip. Now, we talked about a crossover before, very briefly, but here it is in the images to show you how it doesn't quite tick all the boxes. Therefore, the bust support is low, maybe medium, but low. So you can see here that the cups will work very much independently. It's a va-va-voom style. So if you wanted to feel sassy and sexy on a resort holiday, man, this would be the one, right? But if you want to swim laps in the ocean or in the pool, this is not going to give you the bust support that you need for that job, right? So it's not for that, but for lazing around, oh, it's fantastic because the back is not high, right? You know that now. To get the bust support, you need a high back. The straps are not adjustable, so you can't bring them in to adjust to your particular body. And here you can see how on this model, we've got the gape there again. And even on her, where it wasn't gaping in the other Cossies, it is on this one. So to fix that, I would have those straps shortened, which is a fairly simple thing to get done. But that's why this Cossie is not a high support option. Again, we're talking fit and support, girls. That's a priority. Beautiful Cossie, but it doesn't tick all the boxes for support. Now, aside from getting maximum support, this is quite a tricky fit situation when you've got a full bust but a narrow back, right? Now, that's tricky because if this is your problem, when the natural instinct is to go up a size to get your bust fitting right or to get your bust fitting right. But when you do that with a lot of Cossies, that means that it's going to be big overall. It'll be loose around the back or around the sides, unless it's an underwire. You won't feel it as much, but it's not going to fit you in all the right places that it should. So there is a solution. And it's this one. It's ruched cups. Now I'm just going to make this screen now that I know I can do that and not have to go out. So good. This tankini, it also comes in a one piece, and I'll show you some more images soon. But these folds are what we call ruching, created in this Cossie by the elastic around the neckline and some gathers around the base of the bust. So what happens is that will just fill. Your bust will just fill it forward. And that's what I love about this for that particular tricky fit situation when you have a narrow back and a really full bust. Those folds will just give you that extra room to move that you need without having to go up a size. So look for those features. Not very many out there. Capriosca is one of the few labels I know that does it. Now, what does that look like? Let me just go to a smaller screen, make me smaller again, because this is about the swimsuits. It's not about me, right? Now, there are a few examples of the ruched cup. You can see the folds created across the neckline from the elastic top. Then there are some gathers sewn in at the base where the underwire is. And you can see that her bust is filling that out. There's still some room to move there, right? There's still some gathers in the middle. So if her bust was even 2 cup sizes bigger, she'd be okay in this. She'd fill it okay. And now Capriosca have recently released one in a bikini, and there's also a one-piece option. So different prints and planes in that, but that is an awesome solution for a full bust with a narrow back. Okay, how are we doing? Before we get on to the next fit issue, I just need to take a sip. Now we're working down the body, girls, right? We started with busts. Now we're going to go to dun, 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 tummy support. I know, hello midlife. Hands up if your tummy's gotten bigger in midlife and menopause. Yes, happens to us all, girls. It really does. Maybe that's been your shape or your life. Your body is not the problem, okay? There is a way to get tummy support. Maybe you don't like the way it feels now. Your body shape's changed. Your belly's gotten bigger. It's jiggling around a bit more. That's okay, right? We need that. That's life. There is a way to get more support for your fuller tummy shape. And the features that you need to look for in a swimsuit to help you with that are panels, side panels, firm fixed panels. Power mesh lining, it's something else that'll give a little bit more support, you know, maybe half a size. I'm working down the list, which is also an indicator of their effectiveness for support. Panels, high effectiveness. Power mesh, not too bad. Rigid construction, firmer fit. That goes kind of hand in glove with panels, but you can get that without the panels as well. That just means that the side seams are fixed. When you pick them up and stretch them, you don't get much stretch. Let's have a look at some of these. So we've talked about the tank one piece already, and I just want to show you, make my screen bigger, cheats way. Oh, so good when I love a cheat trick. Now, just have to make sure that you can see this. It might be a bit trickier with the black, but this one is great for tummies as well. And you saw that with Jane's figure. There is a straight seam on this one. There is no ruching in that side seam. It's nice and fixed, right? No gathers. It does have the side panels. If you remember from that picture that Jane in it, see there's the side panels there, nice and flat. And this one's got the center ruching panel, the center panel that's ruched. Now, the zip up that I showed you earlier for bust support is also awesome for tummy support because the zip holds you in, but it also has the fixed panels on the side with the ruched panel in the middle. Now, I'll talk about ruching in a minute and the power of ruching, but from a feeling snug and supported, from a support point of view, right? Not how it looks point of view, but from a support point of view, the panels will help to bring your tummy in and to feel more snug in your cozy. Now, the Botticelli I don't have, but I do have a fantastic picture to show you of it. Now, firmer fabric is also important. The tighter the weave, just like with your clothing, the tighter the weave, the more structure and rigid construction it's going to have on. So again, this is a tight weave, right? This is a jacquard. That is really hard to, it will move with you, but it is a firm move. Whereas there are other, the regular swimsuit fabric has got a lot more give in it, right? So that's something else you can look for in the features of a swimsuit, something that's got a tighter weave. Usually the textured ones have the tighter weave, are going to give you a firmer fit and more support around your tummy. So let's have a look at some pictures. Sorry, Jane, I don't mean to be over your face like that. That's not very nice. Oh, low battery. Oh, no way. Oh my goodness, that's chewed it very quickly. We need to crack on. So tummy support, the paneling we've talked about and the middle. Now you can see it on Jane, how it gives her rounder tummy, lots of support. The same with the lovely Liz, and this is the Botticelli. I've made that slightly lighter so that you can see how that side panel is there, right? So good. Okay, now moving on, rigid construction. No ruching in this. Really firm textured fabric. Same Cossie on different shapes, right? Okay, common fit issues. We're moving on to tummies, but from a camouflage point of view. Now, I know many of you are tummy conscious as your tummies get bigger or are bigger. So now we're talking fit from a little bit more of a looks point of view than a support point of view. ruched side seams are the way to go, right? They create those folds of fabric that will stretch with you, and you need that for a fuller tummy shape. With 3 tiers of fabric, we've seen those already today. They also, without adding volume, because those tiers are diagonal, they're not straight across, they are another great way to get some camouflage and coverage. Now we're talking about, and prints are the masters of disguise, girls, much better than plains. Textured fabric, we've spoken about that too. So here again, you can see how Jackie loves this for her because of all the ruching around her tummy. Now she's a diamond, so she's a triangle with a fuller tummy shape, very common shape we serve here at Sequins and Sand. But you can see how that ruching, the folds just let her fill the folds with her tummy nicely, and the print helps to give her that camouflage. And then here, again, we've got the texture working in with the side panels. Now, these side panels have got the ruching, so they're going to be a little bit more give in these ones, because when you've got a fuller tummy, you need length to get over your tummy. So, you know, ruching is your best friend for that too, from a fit point of view. Now, this is the bandeau, and it has got a lot of generous ruching in the side seam, and you can see it here on someone who's got a flat tummy. You can see all the folds in the pink swimsuit there. And then we work through different shapes. Lizzie with her rectangle shape and fuller tummy, you can see how the folds are her friends there. She loves her bandeau because it's strapless. Same with Jackie. And then with the beautiful Maz, she doesn't need it so much because she's got the hourglass with the flatter tummy, but I know she loves this Cossie for that reason as well. It's just a good all-rounder, and it's got that ruched side seam in bucket loads. Now, the gorgeous Denise and Jane, you've seen Jane before, the 3-tier style is one that does give them, you can see how it does conceal Jane's tummy, right? And something else about Jane's pants, which I'll mention later on as well. But a great Cossie, just to cover up your tummy, give you that camouflage that you're after, so that it boosts your confidence to get you out there doing what you love to do. So the 3-tier, great, a winning style. The bandeaus we've talked about with the ruching, but here I just wanted to showcase how a print is the master of disguise more than a plain, right? So same model. I think that's an undies line, because you have to wear underwear when you're doing swimsuits modeling. But you can see how you can see the fold there and the line, whereas in the print it is not so obvious. So prints, girls, are another way to get that tummy camouflage. If you don't like prints, and I get that, for some of you, you're not a fan, then look for the texture, okay? The texture is going to give that little bit of camouflage for the lumps and bumps underneath. Tricky tummy fit. Prominent tummy needs extra length, right, to get over your tummy area, just like a longer torso. Rigid styles and side panels will give you that firm fit, but it might mean that you have to go up a size. Alternatively, go for that ruching to give you that extra length. It'll expand with you. Now, this is the trickiest fit of all. It is the prominent tummy shape with a flat bum or narrow legs, because if you get your tummy fitting right in a Cossie, it means that the leg openings are going to be quite loose. I'm sorry to say that this often means the best solution is to have them altered. Get the swimsuit that is going to fit your tummy nicely, and then get the legs taken in. When you do, just make sure that the inquiry you make, they've got the ability to sew Lycra, because it is a bit more slippery and it's a bit trickier to do. The other thing you can do is wear a lower leg bottom, and I know many women turn to these swim shorts for that reason, because they sit lower. Because what happens is that if you don't get the right fit around your tummy and you try and get a fit overall, your tummy's going to pull the legs forward and then you get that gape in the groin area. And we don't want that. That fills with water, feels horrible on. You'd be really self-conscious. So that's where that lower leg bottom is popular. I know for that reason. The other thing, what Jane was doing in that other picture, because she told me about this, the girls did, is you wear your bikini bottom back to front. I know. Weird, right? But it works because look, narrower in the front, wider at the back. Now, it might mean that it sits a little bit higher across your bum, but that's another thing to do. So if you want to wear a regular bottom and you're not a fan of the shorts, then, or a one piece that's got the lower leg like the shorts, then that might be another way, just something to experiment with and try because, you know, it's relatively inexpensive to try with a pant than it is, you know, a whole new suit. So maybe give that some thought and a go. So now let's look at some other common fit issues. This one I know is very common. I get questions about this every week. Long torso. There are some fit challenges with this, particularly when it comes to getting into a one piece. You find that it's hard to stand up in your one piece. And just like this model here on the right-hand side, who's got a long torso, I know that that whole swimsuit is pulling down. Everything's pulling down. And so her under bust support, it won't be sitting up nice and high underneath her bust. It's going to feel like it's slipping down, and it is slipping down. So when we talk about shape, the 6 shapes that are in that guide for you, they're based on horizontal measurements. And that's why this one tricks a lot of people up, because it's not covered in those traditional shapes. But there are a few things we can do to add into the mix to help you with your longer torso shape. So you could be a rectangle like Liz, straight through, and be longer in the torso with that, maybe. Though I'll go into another shape that I know typically has a longer torso with that, and it's the triangle shape. We'll get onto that shortly. So how to get more length? Look for those ruched side seams, right? We've been through that already with the images in the presentation and me showing them to you. They will expand with you and just give you that little bit of extra length that you need. Look for the adjustable straps. Now, this won't give you as much length, but if you're just a little bit longer in the torso, it might be enough for you. So let them out to get that little bit of extra length. And then with the fabric, if you have a fabric that's got more give in it, then that'll give you just that little bit more stretch again. So maybe these 3 things all together will give you enough length so that you can get into a one piece happily. If not, go up a size. Now, there is danger in that solution in that it will add width overall. So it might not be the preferred, but I know for some that will work. Ultimately, wear a 2-piece. Now, if you are, I have a bit of a rule of thumb. If you have got 2 sizes difference between top and bottom, so maybe you're a 14 up the top and an 18 around the bottom, or an 18 up the top and a 14 around the bottom, then you need to wear a 2-piece, because a 1-piece that's going to go across those 2 size differences, pretty rare. You might find them occasionally, but by and large, no. So if out of frustration trying a few that it's not working with those other inclusions, then a 2-piece is going to be the best option. Short torsos, opposite to the longer torso girls, right? So with that, and this is a model with an hourglass shape, but she's got that shorter torso, right? You can see that there are folds in the bandeau around her tummy. So with that, you've got usually too much fabric around your tummy area. And if it's too much fabric, you might even find that in a 1-piece, it will actually sag down between your legs and feel really uncomfortable. With a tankini top, you might find that they're always so long, they feel more like a dress than a top. And then the straps are too long too. So if it, you might find that you need to pull things up and then this flaps off for you. So they're typically the issues that a shorter torso shape will have. But there are some solutions, how to get less length. I want you to look for those rigid side seams. Don't go for something with the ruching. Now, I know if you've got a fuller tummy with your shorter torso that you want that ruching for camouflage, but really you probably have to start making a choice. So if you're really tummy conscious, then and you want the ruching, by all means, but maybe the 3-tier is better for you, right? Just be a little bit cautious with the amount of ruching, I guess, in a swimsuit. The less ruching for you, the best. So maybe a little bit of ruching is all that you need, because you don't need the length. Even with your rounder tummy shape, you don't need a lot of length to get around it, because you've got the short torso. So they kind of balance out each other, if that makes sense. So you might be right with a little bit of ruching. Otherwise, go for something with an adjustable side seam. So you can adjust the amount of ruching, if you like, or the length through those drawstrings. And I've got some examples to show you soon. And then adjustable straps. I would actually, if you find that pulling them all the way up is not enough, or the straps on the swimsuit that you really like fits you well in all the right places everywhere else, then I would actually spend the money and get the straps shortened. Then you'll wear it, right? And won't be money wasted. Firmer fabric means a better fit because there's less give in it, right? So that's another little trick to look for. Not as effective as the other ones, but nonetheless should be thrown in the mix. If you have all of these things working together, you'll get the ultimate solution. With a one piece, if you find that you want that ruching, but all of that ruching, for example, makes things bag around your crotch area, then again, get that altered. Get that cut and reduced, just like the straps. You just take a little bit of fabric out. Or if it is a tankini top and it's sitting too low, just get the hem taken up, right? It's really worth it to get those alterations done to get the right fit. Now, here is an example of a bandeau swimsuit. So on a website, it'll come up bandeaus in the same category, but they're really very different swimsuits, right? They're both strapless, yes, but look, this one is a rigid construction. There is no gathers along the side seams. This one has a lot of gathers. So if you're a shorter torso girl, this one on the left is going to work better for you than the one on the right. If you're a longer torso girl, it's the opposite. You need to look for this one to give you that extra length and avoid this one, because what will happen is that will pull down and it'll sit down here on you. Not a good look, right? Not the support that you're after. How are we doing? I know there's a lot, which is why that workbook's going to be helpful, and those guides as well to come back to, and you can rewatch this recording as well for a little time, for a couple of months. So we'll keep moving on with some other common fit issues. And this time it's a small bust with a long torso. Now, I know that this can be quite common with girls who have a triangle shape. If you've got a size difference between bust and hips and you've got a longer torso, then this can be quite a challenging shape to fit. There is a solution. Look for less fabric in the bust. Now, a triangle shaped cup is your best friend when you have a smaller bust. You don't want to overpower your bust with too much fabric, right? A bit like talking torsos with too much fabric. And with a smaller bust, add the oomph, not with the cup coverage, but with the details over the top. That will add some visual oomph for you. So think frills. Think details like, even little smocking details, extra patterning, things that are going to add a bit more visual oomph for you are in that area. Now, longer torsos, we've talked about a lot already. You know to look for those ruche sides. And my rule of thumb, if you've got 2 size difference between top and bottom, then a 2-piece might very well be your best solution. So I've gathered a few from the internet to show you. Now, this is a crossover twist top, but you can see that it's got that triangle shape. This one has 2, as does this one. It's a really good shape for a smaller bust. Just doesn't take over, right? It's really, really good. Now, this one here, this is from Sea Level, I think, this Cossie. This one's a Genevieve swimsuit. This one is a Sea Level. And it's got the drawstring sides so that you could lengthen them if you've got a longer torso. So it'll fit you nice in the bust area, not too much cup coverage there for you. And you can extend the sides down with the drawstrings. Then this one has got the ruching, which is what will give you that length. But with the lace up front, it means you can bring it in, and it might not be too overpowering in terms of too much fabric for you. I've seen this work on that shape before really well. And then this one, so cute. I love it, possibly a personal favorite. This model actually is probably a B cup, if that. She might even be an A. And it's got the double frills, the little tie details, all the attention is there, but it's adding visual volume, right? Compare that to this cup. You know, you can just see that there's a bit more fullness there for her. So just a few examples of how to visually make your smaller bust appear a little bit bigger. From a support point of view, you know, that's enough. You don't need too much. And that one there's from Sunseeker. So just some options for you to consider with long torso, small bust. Now, when you are a larger size girl, I know that sadly the options are limited again for you. And I have had women ring me and say, look, just because I'm a bigger girl doesn't mean I've necessarily got a bigger bust proportionally. So there are a lot less options out there. I'm looking long and hard for them, girls, trust me. So if that is you and you're finding it really hard, lean on me and I'll show you a way to contact me soon. But yeah, this might help. This style is a fairly new one from Caprioska Swimwear, and it's awesome. Because of the shelf bra, it will fit a B cup, no problem. The adjustable straps will help you to bring it in to suit your smaller bust. The frill adds visual oomph, and the generous side seams give you the length. Hallelujah. It's called the long frill V-neck one piece, and I think it ticks a lot of boxes for particularly if you're a larger size girl when there are not very many options out there for you. I think this one goes to a 22. It's great, you know, nice, not too overbearing, but you got that frill detail to give you that visual boost and balance you out top and bottom as well visually. But practically you've got the straps that you can adjust, and it's got that ruching in the side seams to give you that length. So I know that the shelf bra in this is very generous. It's based on the 3-tier shelf bra. So Marsha and the team have done a great job there, and they've kind of mushed together a couple of styles and the features that work really well in those styles. Rightio, we can't leave a fit workshop without talking about size. Shape before size every time, girls. It's a mantra that I want you to adopt as well, because your size does not define you. I've seen and heard how damaging this can be. It is not your body. It is not your size. Please know that. Please. That's why I don't want you to think size. I want you to think shape. It's really unhelpful to think size first, because swimsuit sizing is also different. You can't take clothing and automatically apply it to swimwear. You might get lucky with some labels and sizing, but as we've talked about earlier, it's more like underwear than overwear, and it's made to fit your body very, very differently. So you can't bring one into the other reliably, not reliably anyway. And the other thing is, the only piece of clothing that I know that you can relate quite well is bra size. And that's just for your bust, right? That's got nothing to do with the rest of your body shape. But with a bra size, like particularly for an underwire, if you know you're a double D, odds on you'll be a double D in swimwear. So bra size does help. Sizing will be different across different styles, even within the one label. So if you don't follow Swimsuit Fit 101, you're still going to not hit the mark, right? That bullseye right in the middle. Because as we've spoken about right at the beginning, you've got to match your shape features with that of the swimsuit to get the right fit. So looking for a size first is not going to solve the problem. You have to go shape first and understand your shape and match that to the shape of the swimsuit. And then, you know, think size. Fashion sizing is completely different. There's no correlation, you know, there's no rules, there's no consistency. And also, if you're shopping internationally, know that there's a 4 size difference between Australia and the US, for example. You know, an 8 in the US is a 12 here. So it's very, very different if you're shopping internationally. The other thing is, I know that's more about clothing than swimwear. Swimwear does not, thankfully, in my experience, have such radical discrepancies across labels. I can't vouch for, you know, other than that sizing difference between, say, Australia and the US, I don't know of a lot of inconsistency within Australia. So that is a good thing for swimwear. But I just want to mention it here because I want you to be aware that this is out there and not just to automatically assume that it's going to be a direct correlation across labels. Then there's this thing called vanity sizing, and it's probably me getting up on my soapbox, but this really makes my blood boil when labels will deliberately size down on their labeling to make us feel good, right? If we think we're seeing a smaller number on the swing tag, that's going to make us feel better about ourselves, but it's not real, and it just messes with our minds. It adds to the confusion and the frustration and all of those challenges, right? And this goes back to point 1. It's not about your size, first and foremost, right? That does not define you. But all that vanity sizing does is reinforces the fact that we need to think about ourselves through our size. And it's not so. So think shape before size. Now, when you're shopping online and in store, I know size absolutely comes into the equation, but I really want you to think about shape first. Don't hunt your size down first. Might be a way to filter to know if something's in stock, sure. But when it comes to getting the right fit, I want you to understand your shape and what you're looking for in the swimwear to get the right fit. End of soapbox talk. So to find your shape and size, use the shape and size calculator. I've spoken to you about that already in the bonus guide that you've got. Now, I've got it down here. Oh, I'm better. Here it is, bending down. Oh, that's what it looks like. And on the back page is the link to the calculator. So hop in, use that, do explore, have a play with it. It's not foolproof, as I mentioned earlier, but it will help you to get a better understanding of your shape and size. It's a bonus. You may as well use it, right? Then browse the catalogue. Now go to sequenceandsand.com.au. You're a gold, the Summer Confidence Society member now, and you get access to this. And because you've created your Kajabi account, you get access to it. So the catalogue now has got all of the swimsuits profiled according to bust shape, colour, and the shape that we think sorry, did I say bust shape? I meant bust support. Bust support and by shape. So ways to help you find your swimsuit easier as you're browsing the catalogue. And the other thing that we've done, which is new, is as you're browsing, if something does catch your eye, then you can simply add it to your wish list of favourites and then you're able to email that to yourself. So again, you've got a reference, because if you're not ready to shop straight away, or if you've only got limited time and you need to come back to it, then at least you've got that starting point. You're not starting from scratch again, which is really helpful, I think. So use them. Now that you are a member of the Summer Confidence Society, you have access to the shape and size calculator and the catalog with that wish list functionality. So make the most of it. It's there for you. Last but not least, this one, how to try your swimsuit on correctly. It's the other bonus guide that you've got in your Kajabi account. It's really important, because understanding the theory about what you need to look for is all well and good. But when you get it home, or when you're in store and you're trying it on, you've got to put it on right so that it matches up to your body as much as possible, to know whether it's the fit of the swimsuit that's wrong, or if it's just the way that you've got it on. So the details for, say, a one piece is in here, a swim dress is in here, a tankini top is in here. How to try each of those different styles is in your bonus. But essentially, in a nutshell, oh, that's not good. That's not what I want. That's what I want. In a nutshell, what we're basically saying is, for a one piece, for example, is I want you to overdo things. I want you to over pull them up more than you normally would, and then adjust it down. The opposite for tankini tops. If you pull it on down that way, you pull it down a bit further and then you adjust it up. And for your bust area, you bend forward like you would when you're putting on your bra. Get the girls up and over that under bust support, and then tighten those straps firmly, right? Then you know, check under your arms, check that it's sitting under your bust right. That's how you know that you've tried it on correctly. And then with the legs in a one piece, or with the pants, overstretch them on and then bring them down to get the bum coverage that you need. So it's really about exaggerating the pull on and down, and then adjusting to make sure you get it right. That's it in a nutshell. But do use the guide. That's what it's there for. Well, we've covered a lot today. It's been a big workshop. Let's see again. Let's talk about very quickly what we've looked at. The challenges. How frustrating it can be. I hear you, right? I've heard this for 14 years. It's frustrating. It's getting more difficult in lots of ways now that most of the options are overwhelmingly online. And it's deflating. You start to doubt yourself. It's not about you. It's not about your body. There is the answer out there. And hopefully now, after this workshop today, you're becoming more and more familiar with how to find the solutions to the common fit problems that are out there, and how to fix them, how to avoid them. Some of them would be addressed for your specific fit issues. And we've also talked about how to try your swimsuit on correctly. Now, if you, what do I need? I meant to say then, I've gone off on a tangent in my mind. That's what we've covered. Those bonuses and access to the recording will be available for 2 months in your Kajabi account. So make the most of them. Go back, rewatch many, many times, take notes in your workbook, keep a record, go into the catalog and the calculator, have a play, create your wish list, just get into the groove, get ahead of the game. You know, give yourself time to do this right, because there is the solution out there for you. Absolutely, there is. Take a couple of minutes now and think what's been most helpful. What's in your notes? If you haven't made the notes, stop this, print off the workbook, come back, think about it, make your notes. It's really important that you take the time to think about what you've just heard and seen, and any of the tips that you think might work for you, please make note of them, write them down. If you're anything like me, if I don't write it down, I forget it. But think about what's been helpful. And if you like, drop me an email and let me know, because I want to know whether what I've shared with you today has hit the mark, or if there's things that I need to include that's not been included. So let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Where to from here? Go back and watch the replay and use those resources. They're available for 2 months, as I've mentioned, in your Kajabi account. That's where you can reach me if you're still a bit confused, because my promise stands. I want you to find the right fitting swimsuit. So if you're still a little bit unsure, need some clarification, reach out to me at anita@sequenceandsand.com.au. If you're a gold member, which you are now, not an if, you are, because if you've registered for this workshop and you're watching it, it means that you are. So go in and use the calculator, head over to the catalog, create your wish list of favorites and get familiar with those tools that are accessible only to Summer Confidence Society members. And we have a new community we're building. You are now a gold community member. So again, that's in Kajabi. I'm bringing everything into Kajabi. We are still on social. We have a private group where you can talk about these more, personal things to get the help, and share in there some of your concerns and questions, because if you've got them, odds on other girls have too. And that's how we learn from each other. So into the gold community, through Kajabi, and you'll have access to that through your account, or on our Facebook private group, Women 40 Plus, Self-Love, Body Love, Swimsuit Confidence. Okay, that is it from me. It's been quite a ride. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for your support. And I'm wishing you a fantastic summer life, pool days, beach days, in a swimsuit that feels fabulous on because it fits you right. If you've got any questions, you know where to reach me. I'll see you next time in the communities and online. Bye, ladies. See you.